Baseball season is finally almost upon us, and what better time than right now to do a way too early MLB mock draft? My name's Avery Taylor, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get right into it. Kicking things off, we have the Chicago White Sox, who are going to make the obvious selection of Rock Cholowski. He's just everything you dream of at shortstop. He's big, he hits for power, he has a good hit tool, plays great defense. There's not really many holes that you can poke in his game, and he's one of the more clear 1-1s that we've had in recent memory. The Tampa Bay Rays are selecting second in the MLB draft, and they're going to pick none other than Grady Emerson, the high school shortstop out of the Dallas Fort Worth area. Everyone's looking for the next Bobby Wood Jr., and he has all the makeup to be that level of prospect. The hit tool is at a 60 grade and deservingly so. He has good power that he doesn't necessarily get into yet, just mainly off of his approach. He's a good runner, has a great arm, and has great fielding. Again, if you placed him in the last year's draft, he's probably going 1-1. So the Rays are definitely getting the steal here. Third overall, the Minnesota Twins are going to shake things up a little bit and take Derek Curriel, an outfield prospect from LSU. Recently, the Minnesota Twins have been on this run of taking prospects that have the hit tool over power type approach while also playing good defense, and that pretty well describes Derek Curriel to the T. He has a great hit tool. Power is a little fringy. It's debatable on how much he'll actually get into. He sprays the ball all over the yard and hits it hard, but his swing path can get a little flat at times, so that will limit his production overall. And then the running, the speed, the fielding, it's there. The arm's a little weak, so he's going to have to stay in center, but overall, just a very solid prospect. Fourth overall, the San Francisco Giants will select Cameron Flukie, a right handed pitching prospect out of Coastal Carolina. When you're talking about the combination of projectability and where they're at right now, this is one of the most exciting names that you can come up with because he already has a 60 grade fastball curveball, has a 55 grade slider, and a changeup mixed in there as well, has good control of all those pitches, and is just one of the most flat out best pitching prospects in the class right now. Then to go along with that, he's 6'6, 210 pounds. There's room for him to add on to this arsenal and add more velocity to that fastball, which would just absolutely make him a dynamite pick here early on in the draft. Then at fifth overall, the Pittsburgh Pirates have the opportunity to take Justin LeBron, who at one point was the favorite to go number one overall in this class. LeBron has excellent power from the shortstop position, plays very slick defense, which would be great for this farm system that already has Connor Griffin. It'd be interesting to see who actually sticks at shortstop and who gets moved off of it. And then at number six, the Kansas City Royals are going to be so excited to grab Jacob Lombard, a high school shortstop prospect from Florida. He has a good hit tool again at 55 grade, but his calling card is the power. He has excellent power from his right handed swing, has excellent sprint speeds as well. The arm and fielding maybe give you some question marks at shortstop, but he'll probably be fine there long term. Overall, this just gives them an extremely high upside prospect in their farm system. At number seven, the Baltimore Orioles are going to continue their love of collegiate hitters in the round, this time in the form of Sawyer Strohsnyder, an outfielder for the Texas Christian University. For the Horned Frogs, he's been playing right field, but he can definitely make the move to center field with his plus speed. He also has plus power and a decent hit tool after he had some into college. He has a plus arm and good fielding, so he can definitely stick in right field if he proves center field is tough for him. And the bat is so far playing. This is a very good pickup for the Baltimore Orioles here at number seven. At number eight, the Athletics have sneakily gone on this trend of picking players who rise up very quickly. 2023 was Jacob Wilson, 2024 was Nick Kurtz, and 2025 was Jamie Arnold, who is going to be on that major league roster probably at some point this season. They're going to continue that trend and grab Jackson Flora, a right handed pitching prospect out of UC Santa Barbara. He's going to rise up quickly, mainly because of that fastball. It's a 70 grade for a reason. Combine that with the slider, with the 55 grade, and controlling that well. Like that combination is very good. I need to see him add a fourth offering for a lefty out pitch, but other than that, there's really not much more for him to prove other than if he has a disaster season or something. But he's just an excellent pitching prospect for the Athletic grab. For the Atlanta Braves at number nine, I know they love their pitchers, but this is a real opportunity for them to get an elite bat from the collegiate ranks. And I think they're going to do that by grabbing AJ Gracia out of University of Virginia, formerly of the University of Duke. He has done nothing but mash his entire time. He got off to a little bit of a slow start last year, but after he fixed his swing, no problems. He's been incredible, and I think that this is just a real opportunity to get a bopper. It's interesting see if he'll stay in center field because he's not the best runner, but he does take very efficient routes. So as of right now, it's looking like it's going to hold up. If he does have to move to a corner, it'll probably have to be left field because his arm isn't the strongest either. For the Colorado Rockies, this is just a system that needs a top of the line pitcher. Their starting rotation in the MLB needs pitching. The whole organization needs pitching. And what better place to start than with Liam Peterson, the right handed pitcher from the University of Florida? He is one of these guys that, again, you look at projectability and where he's at, and it's just so exciting because his floor already is very high. He has a great fastball, slider, curveball combination, also has a feel for a changeup, and has decent control of it, although he can get a little bit over aggressive in his operation. He is just so fun to watch, and he has some of the best pure stuff in this entire class. I'm excited to see him go, and hopefully that the Rockies can figure out their starting pitching, starting with Liam Peterson. But that leaves the door open for the Washington Nationals to select possibly the best pitching prospect in the entire class, and that is Carson Bowman, a left-handed pitching prospect from high school out of South Carolina. He is just so fun to watch, and honestly, he was just so dominant in his junior year. He didn't allow a single earned run the entire time, led his team to the state championship, threw a 19 strikeout no hitter in that championship game, and then he fanned 17 batters in 11 scoreless frames in the 18 and under World Cup. Just so fun. And then the fastball, curveball, slider, they're all graded as plus pitches. Changeup is also pretty decent, has control of all of it. He's just so advanced for where he's at as an 18-year-old. And it's just, he's a fun prospect. And you add him to a system that already has Arlene Susana and Sakura. Like, this gets an exciting time for Washington National fans. And then the Los Angeles Angels here at number 12 get potentially the steal of the draft with Drew Burress. There's really nothing to poke a hole into his game other than his height. That's going to be a big calling card for most teams. Most teams will knock him off their board entirely because of how short he is. He's listed at 5'9". There's a potential that he's even shorter, and that you just don't see players that size and from the right-handed side getting picked this early on in the draft. So this is really the ultimate test because there is nobody that's more accomplished in the class than him in terms of stat line in this entire class. He's just so good, and the power is there, the hit tool there. He's an excellent runner, has good arm. He's a good fielder. He can maybe play center, play right field, whatever you need him to do. He's that good. It's just a matter of will it translate because of the height. For the St. Louis Cardinals at number 13, they've gone to the collegiate ranks 3 years in a row. They appreciate a guy who has good swing decisions while also hits for some pop. And I think that kind of describes Caden Sorrell, who's been trending more in the right direction whenever it comes to swings decisions. They haven't been the best, especially early on, but as of late, they've been getting a lot better. And if he can continue that trend, I think it'll allow the rest of his game to speak volumes because he's an excellent athlete. Has a 60 grade run, 60 arm, fielding is at 55. He can play all around the outfield, and then the hit tool is getting better and better. And we all know the power is going to play as well. He just is a complete player if the hit tool and if the swing decisions are there. And they've been improving year on year. And I love this pick for the St. Louis Cardinals, who get an absolute stud. At number 14, the Miami Marlins are going to stick to what works and grab Gio Rojas, a left-handed pitching prospect from high school in Florida. This is one of the more exciting arms in this entire class because of that fastball, which already has gotten up to 98 miles an hour, and he has control of it on both sides of the plate. The slider is a bit of a sweeper and is also graded out very well. His changeup doesn't get used all that much, but it has shown some potential, and he's done a good job at controlling pitches. You add in the fact that the Miami Marlins can develop left-handed pitching like no other, and all of a sudden this gets very interesting. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, we're going to go a little bit off kilter, but stick to what they do very well, and they're going to grab Eric Booth Jr., a high school prospect out of Mississippi. They love guys who are super athletic with a hit tool, and he does that. He has 70 grade run, not much of an arm, but he is a very good center fielder. The hit tool is there, and they love to see if they can get more power out of guys. He stands at 6 foot, almost 10, so they definitely can get more out of him. He won a high school home run derby championship, so there's definitely power to get into, and the Diamondbacks love these type of projects, so I think it's a match made in heaven. For the Texas Rangers, they're going to grab Tyler Spangler, a shortstop prospect out of California. This system just desperately needs a hitter, and while you do draft best player available, he also fits that category. He's the highest ranked prospect left on the board, so it's definitely a good fit for them. He also gets those Corey Seager comparisons, being a left-handed hitter who's just a big shortstop standing at 6'3". So hitting the shortstop who gets compared to Corey Seager while playing in the organization with Corey Seager is probably a good idea. For the Houston Astros, they're going to go with big slugger Ace Reese, a third baseman from Mississippi State. In recent years, they haven't cared so much about the hit tool and went more for the power over hit type. You think of Bryce Matthews, you think of Walker Janik, and they're going to continue that trend by grabbing Ace Reese, who has a better hit tool than probably both of them at this point, and he has excellent power that he can get into. Defensively, he's not much to look at. He's probably going to be a first baseman long term. Maybe you can stick him in left field, but he's not much of a runner, not great fielder. The arm is still decent, but overall, he's probably just going to be a first baseman that absolutely hits tanks. For the Cincinnati Reds, I kind of wanted to give them a pitcher despite their strength at the major league level and AAA level, but I went instead with a shortstop prospect from Texas A&M and Chris Copian. He has a good hit tool at 60 grade. The power is also coming along pretty nicely as well. The biggest question mark again with him is going to be, can he stick at shortstop? Probably not. Is he a third baseman? Probably not. He's kind of one of these guys that's going to float between positions. They have a few of them in this system, but he can absolutely hit. There's no doubt about that. And I think it's a good fit for the Reds. For the Cleveland Guardians, they love a pitcher who has good control of his pitches and is very projectable. And I see a lot of that in Coleman Borthwick, who has a 60 grade fastball and 55 grade slider and has excellent control. Changeup is just not quite there yet, but you look at the projectability, he stands at 6'6", 255 at 17 years old. There's a lot of projectability there, in my opinion, and I just think that this combined with the Cleveland Guardians would be a match made in heaven. For the Boston Red Sox, they're going to take Von Lackey, a catching prospect out of Georgia Tech. He's one of the more intriguing names just because his hit tool's there. He got a lot better from year one to year two, especially in that regard. The power, while it's not great game power, he does have more power that he can get into, but his swing path is really flat, so it's going to limit his power long term. He's an excellent athlete behind the plate, so he's definitely going to be probably a plus defender. And then the arm is also very good as well, so he should be able to throw out runners pretty well. He's extremely patient at the plate and barely misses fastballs. He has a lot of things going for him. It's just, can a team unlock that power? I think the Red Sox absolutely can. For the San Diego Padres, they love an athlete who has extreme tools. I think Blake Bowen absolutely fits that description. 6'3", 215 pounds, former football player. You see that with the power, 60 grade power, maybe 70 grade raw power. It's just, can he get into it? Running is excellent, 60 grade there. Has an excellent arm with a 60 grade. Fielding, he can do that as well. He's probably going to stick in center, maybe a move to right field, but even that, he's going to handle that transition well. The only question has really been the hit tool, but this past summer, he got a lot better with his end zone swing and miss rates, and he found the barrel a lot more consistently. So if he can continue that trend into his final year, he's going to be a prospect that rises up draft board drastically. For the Detroit Tigers, they have a very clear model. They love high school guys that are up the middle types, and they're going to stick to that with grabbing Rocco Maniscalco. At the time of recording, he's only 16 years old, by the way. He'll be 17 at the time of the draft, but still a guy that you can mold very easily. Stands at 6'2", 185 pounds, has a good hit tool. The power is kind of meh. It would be interesting to see if they can get more into that, especially as he adds on more weight. His arm and fielding are excellent. So this is a guy that already has some good tools you can work with and is very projectable, something that the Detroit Tigers love. Chicago Cubs do not overcomplicate the draft process. They get a shortstop who went to a prestigious university and has a history of hitting. That's what they do every year. That's what they're going to do in 2026, grabbing Eric Becker. He has a history of hitting. He has a 60 grade hit tool, and it is showed off. He's getting into more power, which should be interesting considering he is at 6'3", 190 pounds. There is more power in there. It's just a wonder if he can actually get to it. And then defensively, he's probably not going to stick at shortstop. He has great instincts, but the rest of his game maybe doesn't necessarily facilitate being a shortstop long term. Maybe a move to third base, second base, something like that. But he's a guy, if he can get that power up, he becomes a very interesting prospect very quickly. For the Seattle Mariners, they've been going heavy on collegiate pitching recently, but this might be the year where they switch it up and go with a high school bat. He's a left handed hitting prospect, 18 years old, and Trevor Condon out of the outfield. Has some excellent tools. He has a 60 grade hit tool. Running wise, he is about as fast as they come with a 70 grade. Plays good defense with a 55 grade arm and 60 grade fielding grade. The power is really the contingent thing here. He is only 5'11, so you wonder how much he'll ever get into. He does have some signs of life in his batting practice, but whenever he's in game, he's not really focused on it. He's trying to just hit the ball hard consistently. It'll be interesting to see where his power goes, but for right now, he's a guy with a lot of loud tools and something that the Mariners work with. And then to round things out, the Milwaukee Brewers are going to do what they always do and underslot a guy who has loud tools, this time in the form of Jaron Abdullah. He's a left handed hitting prospect from Georgia Tech. He's going to be a second baseman, and you see that with his profile. He has an excellent hit tool with the 60 grade. The power, while it is a 35 grade, he definitely can get more into it. He has enough bat speed and strength to get more out of it, but just from his approach, he just doesn't really try to hit for power. The running is there, 60 grade there. He's a decent fielder there at second base. So if they can get the power out of him, he can definitely be a lot more enticing than he is right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know who you think your favorite team will draft in the first round down below. I always love reading up on people, and if you guys have an interesting take, I'd love to hear it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.